Welcome to your 4 to 5, everybody. Eric Chilton along with Chad Silver, Tim Buckley, and Lauren Coleman.
Hello, everyone. Right now, all eyes are on Nicole. The tropical storm moving through Florida is headed our way.
Yeah, the storm slammed into the Sunshine State overnight as a hurricane and is back to a tropical storm now. It's already stirring up strong winds along our coast. Let's show you a live picture right now of Carolina Beach where the waves are not visible right now. We're going to try to keep doing that.
There we go. It's hard to see.
Yeah, it's
there,
okay. Again, it is not visible, but apparently this is Carolina Beach.
Yeah. Probably a lot of sea fog that you see sometimes
absolutely.
that kicks up, so a little bit difficult visibility, but the waves are up and the winds are up too.
All right, Tim, what can we expect on our neck of the woods?
Yeah, you know, this is going to be something we're going to have to deal with heading into tomorrow. Of course, it is a tropical storm moving a little closer to our area. And we just went through a tropical system with Ian not too long ago. First things first, I'll let you know, this is not going to be as bad as Ian was for the Carolinas. The winds will not be as high. We won't see as much rain. The difference here, though, is this time we're going to have a tornado threat, whereas last time we had none of that. Here's the latest on the storm. The winds are only at 45 miles per hour. They're not strong anymore. It's moving through Florida. We are already seeing rain across parts of the Carolinas. Not in the Triad yet, but it's coming. You take a look at our local radar, already some sprinkles moving in through Montgomery County and toward Asheboro and Randolph County as well. We'll see the first of our rain bands this evening, but nothing severe is going to happen tonight. It's just rain, no big deal. Here's the problem with tomorrow. Notice rain bands like this start to develop. Ones that come off the ocean like that can often acquire spinning motion. And when those things start to spin, sometimes you can get a couple tornadoes that form. Notice much of the day, you could have dry spells. There will be occasional rain bands that move through, but there will be dry spells as well. Here's the tornado risk. For all of North Carolina, we're at a pretty significant one, kind of a medium level of a couple tornadoes forming throughout the day. That would be from morning into the afternoon and the evening. So every time we get a new rain band that moves through, we're going to have to watch it pretty carefully on the radar. Here's the good news though. The wind gusts should be pretty manageable. Power outages should not be a big problem, and we don't expect any flooding either. We will watch that severe weather threat throughout the day and have you covered on your Friday.
And now's the time to get ready for rocky weather. As Tim just mentioned, what to expect, including possible power outages, trees and power lines down, and heavy winds. Some experts say it might actually be too late to start preparing now.
The biggest mistake is normally people just wait too long. They wait until just mere days before the storm, and by then our workload is so heavy that we're not able to get to everyone before the storm. So try and be preventative in this and give us plenty of heads up when a storm's coming. Don't wait till the last minute.
And it could be as simple as taking in lawn furniture or securing outdoor decorations that a heavy gust of wind could take down.
Nicole's impact on the Triad isn't expected to be anywhere near what Floridians are dealing with. Here's video of beachside homes devoured by water when Nicole made landfall today. Basements, parking decks, walkways submerged again after barely bouncing back from September's Hurricane Ian.
It was like Niagara Falls. It was crazy, just water pouring in, and we couldn't do anything in time.
In Daytona Beach, Shore's emergency crews evacuated condos so water hitting their surface wouldn't collapse. Governor Ron DeSantis also extended the state of emergency to include all counties.
This morning, more than 50 counties were under tropical storm warnings, and that number will continue to go down as the storm moves across the state. We're ready, and we have resources to respond to whatever post-storm needs may arise.
Nicole is the third reported hurricane to hit Florida this late in the year. Right now, around 3% of people don't have power. National Guardsmen and Uber search and rescue teams remain on standby.
2-1's Snow's Ben Briscoe here, monitoring social media to show you what's happening with the storm, the very latest. You hear it's a Category 1 when it hit, you think that can't be that bad, but look at these pictures. I was in shock when I saw this video. Watch this tree right here. It just falls right into the ocean. The water ate away at the beach there. I want to show you another view. This is from Daytona Beach shores, probably the worst hit area from this storm. It just took out an entire row of homes there. That is where those condos are also being evacuated. Even inland from that area, there are some issues. Take a look over in Holiday, Florida. It's not right on the beach, but they had some carports blow over on cars there. They're starting to see some issues like that now that they're getting out and cleaning up. And I want to tell you that there have been a lot of nursing homes that have had to be evacuated in Florida because of those power issues. Right now, a little more than 300,000 people in Florida are without power. So you're wondering, what is this going to mean for us? Well, like Tim said, a little rain, some wind, but out in the Outer Banks, they're saying it could be dangerous as high winds, heavy rains could impact there. They're saying particularly NC-12 could be dangerous. We're going to continue to monitor social media all night long and bring you the latest as we see it.
Powerful images. Thank you for the update, Ben. Again, what Nicole unleashed on Florida is nothing like what we'll see in the Triad, but you should stay weather aware. Keep our free WFMY News 2 app close as we track when the rain starts and when it leaves. Our weather team is rated the most accurate 15 of the last 16 years.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. First up today, we're learning more about a disturbing child abuse case in Lexington. Detectives arrested Stephen Jones and Kayla Bird, who are accused of stomping on a boy's head and putting a belt around his neck. Both suspects are in the Davidson County Jail today. The child is now with Protective Services.
Demolition is officially underway at Claxton Elementary School. Crews started the process off tearing down the building today. The school is being rebuilt at a new location. It is one of several other schools being built. This project is funded by a $300 million school bond approved last year.
I'm tracking a nice decline in our weekly COVID update. Check out COVID hospitalizations in Guilford County. The latest patient count is just 25. It's the lowest number on this graph and the lowest the county has reported since May 13th, nearly 6 months ago. You'll notice an unusually large gap in this data. Now, typically, it's weekends and holidays when the county doesn't report this number, but the gaps are getting bigger. I saw this in the summer of 2021. Basically, the county stopped reporting the daily number because it got so low that it wasn't relevant anymore. It's not clear whether that's the case now, but I'll keep my eye on it.
November is Diabetes Awareness Month. About 37 million people have diabetes. Prediabetes affects around 96 million people. Health professionals stress the importance of screening early. You can take a short test on the CDC website to see if you are at risk of prediabetes. November is National Lung Awareness Month. The disease is the leading cause of cancer death in the United States. A Triad woman is on a mission to spread awareness about a tool that could save others from this potentially life-threatening diagnosis.
In the beginning, I hand wrote a card to every person.
Supporting lung cancer patients is one of Dusty Donaldson's biggest passions.
So finally we just printed it up.
She enjoys making care packages she calls Hope Totes for patients in Triad area hospitals.
We've got a notebook that's got some little sticky notes, and we give them a pen. It's great for writing questions that you want to ask the doctor or instructions the doctor might give you and things like that.
Her desire to help lung cancer patients came after she was diagnosed in 2005. She says she soon realized the stigma associated with the disease after a conversation with a coworker.
You know, the first thing he asked my colleague was, oh, did you smoke? And in fact, I do have a history of smoking, but I had quit 20-some years before my diagnosis, and it just seemed at best rude that he would say that to me at a time when I got a potentially life-threatening diagnosis.
Donaldson is now 17 years cancer-free. In 2010, she founded the Dusty Joy Foundation, a nonprofit that raises awareness about lung cancer. One of her biggest priorities is informing the public about lung cancer screenings. Dr. Bradley Eichert and nurse practitioner Sarah Gross work in pulmonary care at Cone Health. They say the hospital provides low-dose CT screenings for those who qualify.
Only 6% of patients in the United States on average get their screening done. In North Carolina, we're at about 8%, so we're just above national average.
Gross says the process is quite simple.
You lay on your back, you put your arms over your head, you take a deep breath and hold it for 10 seconds. You're in and out of the scanner in 5 to 10 minutes. No dye, no injection, no IV. It is quick, it is easy, and it is very impactful.
The ease, something Donaldson hopes more people take advantage of.
Lung cancer screening, it is the deadliest kept secret. And rather than finger wagging or shaming somebody who has a history of smoking. It would be so much better if you just share information in love about lung cancer screening.
Lung cancer screenings are covered by insurance for current smokers ages 50 to 80 years old and those who quit smoking within the last 15 years. For more details about who qualifies, look for this story on our website. We'll be right back.
Hey, the U.S. Capitol Christmas tree made a stop in the Triad today. The 78-foot tree is a red spruce from our state mountains, and it's affectionately named Ruby. I didn't know they named the trees, but now we know. Folks got a chance to see Ruby in all of her glory today at the North Carolina Zoo in Asheboro. She's currently on tour across our state. Before the final stop in Washington, D.C., she made trips to Mount Airy and Troy yesterday. The next stop is Kinston, North Carolina. My first reaction was, how do you know it's a girl? But then I thought, a tree skirt.
Oh.
That's how. I just made that up.
Okay.
I like
that's
that,
a thing.
I have no idea. But anyway.
I do love that the tree is coming from our mountains.
Yes, very cool.
Because they could come from anywhere, right?
It's huge, too. They say 78 feet, I think. Is that what it said?
Did they say if there was anything particularly special about the trees in our area and like why it was chosen?
You know, we get chosen a lot for this, so I don't know. I think it's just the spruce variety. And what's the other? There's it's a funny name. It's like the loblolly pine or something that we have here.
Yeah.
That's that Manning shaking his head. I think there's something. Anyway, we have a good variety of pines.
It's probably also very convenient, right? Like we're close.
We're not too far away.
Who wants to get a redwood
95?
tree from California? Right? Yeah, that's a
the
long
shipping
drive.
alone would be
right. It's just cool that they put it in this truck though and kind of tour it around the state before it makes its way to DC.
Very nice. Point of pride.
Yeah. Well, if you're not in the Christmas spirit yet, how about this? All Mariah Carey wants for Christmas is WFMY News 2. She's going to be here tomorrow. I'm just kidding. She's not going to be here tomorrow. She is airing her holiday special here on WFMY. The 2-hour primetime event is Tuesday, December 20th. Carey will perform her best holiday hits at Madison Square Garden in New York, including All I Want for Christmas Is You. The Queen of Christmas says it'll be a majestic, magical night that you do not want to miss. Again, it airs December 20th here on WFMY.
Now, why'd you have to do that to the Mariah Carey fans?
I got all
Even
excited
I got
for
a little
half
bit
second. I know.
excited.
Sorry, just a funny joke.
How funny if that made it on social media and then she showed up.
Yes.
Okay,
That would
let's
be
do
great.
You
it.
always have a spot on the 4 to 5, Mariah.
No
Whenever
kidding.
you want.
I've always loved her.
What do we'd have to come up with a different name for it? 4 to
All I
5.
All I want for Christmas is 2.
I like that.
That's what we need to do.
Okay.
That would be good. Okay,
Mariah Carey, are you listening to this? Don't go to any other 2 stations.
Send
just
your
this
driver to get you and come down here because we don't have one.
one. What do you all think about that song?
I like the
I've
song.
always
I
liked it.
personally like it. It gets me into the holiday spirit. And I like Mariah Carey. I think she's a very powerful singer. So I have no issue with the song.
don't
I can
either.
listen
Some
to it all
people
year,
hate it,
honestly.
Yeah, I do like it too. And when she does come on the show, I'm going to ask her, you know, like when you wrote this song, was it ever in your wildest dreams that it would become what a spectacle it
The
is?
theme of Christmas, essentially. She is known as the Queen of Christmas.
I
You
just-
know Christmas is coming when they start playing that
And when
song.
she says Christmas,
Yeah.
it's time for Christmas.
All right, we'll ask her when she comes.
That's right. We'll take a break and be back.
All right, welcome back. We're going to start out by showing you what the conditions are at the North Carolina coast. This is out at Wrightsville Beach, and you'll notice the waves have really been up. There is a surfer here trying to do his thing out there in those higher than usual waves. And you say, well, wait a second, the storm is all the way down in Florida. One thing they've been dealing with on our coast already for several days have been persistent onshore winds, creating those higher than usual waves. So it's been pretty tough out there, and you can see the conditions are difficult to see. We're going to show you the latest radar with the storm as well. Currently still in the Florida vicinity. That's the storm center. It's now a tropical storm. Winds have weakened a lot, only down to 45 miles per hour. But the key is that the rain extends well to the north of it. We're going to start to see some rain showers this evening. They won't be strong. But tomorrow is a different story. When you wake up around 5, 6, 7 a.m., we're already in one of these very strong tropical rain bands. Those can cause issues when they come in off the ocean like that, even a severe weather risk early in the morning. As we go throughout the day, a couple more rain bands will swing through. It'll be very warm and muggy. That's something we haven't mentioned enough. It's a warm and muggy day in the 70s. It'll also be windy, of course. gusty winds of 25 to 35 miles per hour. It will not be windy like Ian was last month. And then the storm will be out of here by Saturday, and we'll have cooler, breezier weather that moves in for the rest of the weekend. As I mentioned, your futurecast looks like this. One of those nasty rain bands greets us to start the morning. This could cause issues for the morning commute. We get a gap in the action, more stuff rolling in around lunchtime, and the evening should be the windiest weather that we end up seeing. Wind gusts overall should be in the 25 to 35 mile per hour range, but every now and then you could get a gust as high as 40 miles per hour, so I can't completely rule out power outages. They just shouldn't be super common like they were with Ian last month. There is the tornado risk though, and this is probably our biggest concern. Nothing to panic about, but throughout the day when we watch these bands rolling in, we're going to be watching them very closely to see if any are spinning and could produce a quick tornado. You can count on us to keep you posted with any warnings throughout the day. Just make sure you have a plan.
Hello, hello, can you hear me? There we go. I don't know which one is which, so I guess. How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow?
Eric, I'm familiar with this song.
How now?
He's got hits like Amish Paradise, Eat It, and Trapped in the Drive-Thru. Whether you know the songs, you definitely know the name Weird Al Yankovic.
The parody artist is back, but this time in the director's chair producing his very own biopic. But will it live up to his famously bad music? Let's let movie critic Manning Franks decide.
Like a Surgeon, Another One Rides the Bus, Amish Paradise, Eat It. These are all merely a fraction of the songs of the parodic genius of Weird Al Yankovic. Since the late 70s, Weird Al has cemented himself as a pioneer of all things parody. Although don't expect this biopic to adhere to tradition. Weird makes a mockery of the biopic formula, and while it doesn't give you the story of Weird Al, it personifies him down to the last frame.
Who my little hungry one? Hungry one, open up a package of my banana.
Dude, I've got chills.
Weird, the Al Yankovic story, is as farcical as the comedian himself. A young Al longs to play polka, but his father is vehemently against it. So, in secret, his mother buys him an accordion and the Weird was born. Chronicling his fictional bonkers rise to fame in this exaggerated retelling of his life. Along the way, Weird Al will go multi-platinum, fall in love with Madonna, and fight Pablo Escobar in a film worthy of the title Weird.
I love it.
Musical biopic convention, in the best way possible, is thrown out the window, and lo and behold, a ludicrous story that plays upon the tropes of films past is left in its place. Weird is as hilarious as it is reverent to the man, always hyper-aware of who Weird Al is and the absurdist legacy he made. With mindful liberties taken at every corner and the playful winks to the audience evident, Weird is one of the funniest movies of the year. Daniel Radcliffe plays this parodied version of Weird Al as if he was possessed by the wacky spirit of the musical artist himself. Sure, Radcliffe doesn't necessarily look like Yankovic, but when it comes to the nature of the film overall, it almost warrants a laughter on its own. In addition, Rainn Wilson and Evan Rachel Wood steal every scene they are in as Dr. Demento and Madonna, respectively. Wood, in particular, warrants comedic acclaim for her zany turn as the pop star. Weird is, well, weird. It is the most confidently self-assured film that I have seen this year, and while not every joke lands, it all comes together to be this madcap ode to a legendary icon. Oh, and Weird Al has a brilliant cameo in this. It's fantastic. I'm giving Weird, the Al Yankovic story, a 2 approved. You can stream only on the Roku channel.
We got Manning in the house to talk with us about this. This is something I definitely want to check out.
Now, who of y'all had Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al Yankovic in your 2022 bingo card? No, not me, myself. No, absolutely not. But yeah, you had mentioned before, this is like Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
In a way, it's very tongue-in-cheek. This movie knows that it's not to be taken seriously at all, and it's great.
So Manny showed me a clip, and you have to really understand what you're getting into because your mind is thinking, oh, it's going to be the Weird Al Yankovic story. Not really.
No, not really.
It's a parody of his life.
It's a parody, which is kind of appropriate, I think, considering what his job description was as a musical artist, a parody man. It just works, honestly, at the end of the day.
So I despise Weird Al Yankovic, but that looks really good.
Yes,
I
it
mean,
does.
I think I would absolutely like that.
As a comedy, even if you don't know about his life, as Eric was saying, you don't need to know about his life. Just go in, see a good comedy, and Daniel Radcliffe is also very, very good. Evan Rachel Wood as Madonna, excellent support.
And he's also very good looking.
Yeah, as you can see.
Even with the Weird Al look, you still think.
I was about to say, yeah, as you can see, a couple cuts. Yeah, he's definitely not Weird Al.
Well, it is true that he did play the accordion and write parody songs. So that part
is true. That is very true. Yes.
Crazy. All right, Manny's going to stick around for the rest of the show, so pop over to Facebook and ask a question or two about Weird Al.
I'll kind of just be like, yeah, every time we get hurricane remnants, it always seems to be coming on a Friday. So it's our second time moving Friday Football Fever to Thursday.
Well, last time we moved
hi, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the 4 to 5. Eric, Chad, and Lauren with you this afternoon.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching us on News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the News 2 app. And we're also streaming live on Facebook.
The big story today is watching the hurricane, which is now a tropical storm, heading our way. It slammed into Florida earlier today. Tim, what's an update?
Yeah, thanks, guys. This is not going to be as bad for us as Ian was last month, but we are still looking at some pretty big impacts here locally. Here's where the storm is right now. It's much weaker. Winds are at 45 miles per hour. That's it. So it's a tropical storm moving through Florida, but the rain already extending well to the north of it. What we have is an east wind. So you're bringing all this moisture from the Atlantic Ocean, and we're going to see different rain bands that set up this evening, but especially starting tomorrow morning and throughout the day on your Friday. The first batch of rain is actually moving in right now to Davidson County and Randolph County, mostly light, no big problems with that, but we'll start to see things change when you wake up tomorrow morning. Here's overnight. Notice how these heavy rain bands really start to set up, and this is where we can get into some problems. When they come in off the ocean like this, a lot of times these storms can spin a little bit, and every now and then they can create brief tornadoes. This is not something that a lot of us will see, but on occasion, we might have a few warnings to pass along to you throughout the day. Notice there are big gaps in the action on Friday. It's not going to rain all the time. We don't even expect any flooding, but there will be these rounds of tropical rain bands, and it'll be windy throughout the day too. Not as windy as Ian, but 25 to 35 gusts are pretty likely. We'll also have that pretty significant tornado risk that we'll have to keep an eye on throughout the day because it is warm and it is muggy. Temperatures will be in the 70s on Friday as we deal with this tropical rain and wind. The power outage threat not very high this time around, but we will watch for those storms that could spin up a couple quick tornadoes. Once it gets out of here, we'll start to have quieter weather moving in for your weekend. We'll have a look at the full 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Well, with a change in our forecast coming from Florida, it's time to think about what do we need to do here in the Triad to prepare. We can expect, as Tim said, rain and winds possibly over the next day or two. That means the possibility of power outages, trees, power lines down, and of course the wind kind of upsetting loose things in the yard. You got to bring things in if you have to. Even though we are not directly on the coast, severe weather can still reach the Triad, and experts stress the importance of being prepared and also being aware.
So I think Ian reminded us that even if you're not on the immediate coastline, you're going to deal with impacts. And those impacts go further away from the track of the storm than we may realize. So it's often when folks like your local emergency manager, your local meteorologist, the National Weather Service, when they tell you to do things or say just stay off the roads, things like that.
Simple as that. It's always important to be aware of weather moving in, even if it does not seem serious. Just follow the advice of officials carefully to stay safe.
Meantime, leaders in Florida say a man died when Nicole hit the eastern coast of the Sunshine State overnight.
The storm slammed beachfront communities still damaged from Hurricane Ian just a few weeks ago.
Nicole slammed the Florida coast. Waves barreling into beachfront homes, pulling some right into the ocean.
This house collapsing into the water.
This is what the storm left behind in Daytona Beach shores. Mark Sink just moved into the building in January. Now he's having second thoughts.
I retired, post office, starting a new life, but this isn't what I bargained for.
This is the back part of Zing's condo. It used to be a deck. Right next door is this beach safety office, which is literally collapsing into the ocean.
This is like we were under some type of an attack and we were bombed.
Sheriff Mike Chitwood says dozens of Volusia County condos and homes could be at risk.
It is heartbreaking to look at people's lives floating away in the ocean. We've evacuated over 600 folks from condos that had been declared structurally unsafe.
The sprawling storm system made landfall early Thursday morning. The waves pounding St. Augustine and turning streets in St. Johns County into rivers. In Lauderdale by the Sea, a section of this popular fishing pier is gone, the owner vowing to rebuild.
It's going to take time and effort, but we're going to take care of it.
Waves pounded Flagler Beach, which has already seen historic erosion, and the wind left rooftops dangling. The storm is an unusual November event, just the third recorded hurricane to hit Florida this late in the year.
So obviously with all this weather, we're going to get you hyped up about Friday Football Fever one day early. Our game of the week is Williams at Eastern Alamance. WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson is live there now. We'll just back things up a day, Amanda.
Yeah, we are here at Eastern Alamance for our game of the week. The Eagles hosting Williams tonight in the second round of the playoffs. They're no stranger to playing Thursday night football against Williams. In fact, the last time that they played this team, it was when Hurricane Ian came and they had to move it up to Thursday. So no surprise here, just another now for the playoffs. So how do you feel playing this team again?
You know, last time we played them, we had a couple guys out, but I feel like with those guys back now, we should be able to control the game and get them out of here.
And by the way, this is Wesley Spear, offensive lineman for Eastern Alamance. How do you guys feel coming into this game and beating this opponent? Because you just beat them earlier in the season.
Yes, ma'am. We feel confident. You know, we got a couple key pieces back that we didn't have earlier in the year. We've had a strong run game all year, and our defense, they've gotten better and better every week. So we feel like we should be pretty set going into this game.
What do you think the key is to beating them this time around and keep playing?
I feel like the key is going to be our passing game. They know we can run the ball. They're probably going to give us a pretty loaded box. And if we can spread the field and spread those backers out, I think we'll be pretty okay.
Well, good luck tonight. We'll be here to cover this game and a bunch of others throughout the Triad coming up tonight on WFMY News 2 at 11.
All right, you can keep up with any football and event changes by downloading our free WFMY News 2 app, and there you can follow when the rain starts and when it leaves. Our weather team is rated the most accurate 15 of the last 16 years.
There's a minor league soccer team coming to the Triad. NC Pro Soccer revealed the team Carolina Core FC is named after a 120-mile area of central North Carolina meant to attract new manufacturing businesses. Called the Carolina Core, the team will play at Truist Point and High Point. We learned last month the city planned to upgrade the stadium in the hopes of attracting a men's soccer team. It's part of a larger city council goal to increase foot traffic downtown. The city hopes to have the team on the pitch in 2024, and the team's logo and colors will be revealed next year. I think that this is super exciting. It's definitely going to give more entertainment and something to do in the area. The last market I was in, Memphis, they launched a new men's soccer team called the 901 FC, and the games were so fun. Like I said, it's just something else to do in the area. So I think this is a great
party.
thing.
They're like parties. They are so much fun.
I was trying to think when I saw the email today about the name. I was like, what would they come up for a mascot? So I was thinking like an apple core. So it's like an eaten
that's
apple
why you
core,
were talking about
and
apples.
then you could just name him Corey.
Corey.
I like that.
I love that.
That's actually pretty cute.
And it was funny because Tim, he was like, well, what kind of apple core would it be? Would it be like one that's been sitting around for a while? I was like, yeah, it's got some browned edges on it. Right?
He's been around the block. Yeah,
I like
that's
that
okay.
idea.
Yeah.
I think that's perfect.
But I think it's a cool idea to name it off of that huge area that they're really trying to get manufacturing businesses to move into at some of these mega sites. And I mean, it can't help to promote it that way.
I like that.
Well, soccer, it's just shooting up in popularity across our whole country. So Corey.
Corey. And I said you could even spell it like Corey Convention Center and make Corey
and then
like
sell the sponsorship.
Okay,
and sell the
you
sponsorship
should actually
to
pitch that to them, or maybe
Okay.
you should ask them to create a contest and you could submit that idea.
Yeah, either way.
All right.
And then when they make the logo, they can have your name like really small in the corner.
Oh, it's going to be a big name. All right, from one type of football to another, we are your official home of the Carolina Panthers, and we're giving you a chance to win a family pack of tickets to see their game against the Denver Broncos. Just answer the questions in our trivia contest on the homepage of our website. Sign in with your Facebook or email account, then fill out some basic information. The contest is live right now and will be active until tomorrow at 6 p.m. You can play as many times as you like. Then we'll randomly pick a winner and announce their name tomorrow night at 11. We'll be right back.
Excellent.
Cool.
Corey, I love that.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together.
It's going to be loaded. We have adult games, kids games, and youth games. For the adults, we have the limbo game, cakewalk, sack race, egg on a spoon, and a wheelbarrow race.
Okay, friends, these are some old school games, and they're going to be played at the Fun Fest this Saturday. It's the Worship Place Church here in Greensboro. When is the last time you did a sack race, the limbo, or egg on a spoon?
I think I did something similar when Tim hosted a field day at his house a couple months ago.
And so for my fantasy football league, to determine who the order in which you pick, we had to throw like an egg from one person to another, and then you spread out.
Oh yes, the egg toss.
Yeah.
I like it, I like it. These are like the great kind of games that it doesn't matter what your skill level is or how old or young you are, you can participate. The only one I've never done that she talked about was the cakewalk. Okay, so do you know what this is?
Is this the one you walk in a circle and like you win a cake or something?
Yes.
I think I did that years ago in elementary school.
It is
something
kind of
like that.
Yes, it's kind of like musical chairs,
Never
and
heard
you
of it.
do walk around, and you're supposed to stop whenever the music stops, and you usually stop on the number, and then either they do process by elimination or whatever, or if you stop on that number, that's the number of cake you get. Right. You know, because
So people bake
cake
cakes and they bring them, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I missed that part.
Okay. All right, so Fun Fest is all about games. It's crafts, it's arts and crafts. It's a good way to get the wiggles out because Friday, right? It's supposed to be rainy all day on Friday, so you can get them outside on Saturday.
Kids games, we're going to have pumpkin carving, pumpkin decorating, arts and crafts. We're going to have a scavenger hunt. And we're going to have an obstacle course. We're just hoping that everybody just come out and relax and have a great time.
All right, so Fun Fest is this Saturday. It is 10 to 3:30, and it's at the Worship Place Church in Greensboro. There's a $2 admission per person. Kids under 2 are free. Now, I like the games that like I said, any skill level or any age level can do. And so that got me thinking about one of my favorite games at family events. I'm going to show it to you. It is the Saran Wrap game. So what you see is one of the kids is unwrapping this ball of Saran Wrap. Another kid is rolling the dice. When you roll doubles, then you have to pass the Saran Wrap ball around. And the reason you want to pass the ball around is because you're unwrapping all these small pieces of Saran Wrap until you get to the center, because that's where the cash is.
Yes, I played that at my last job for a Christmas party, and so throughout the ball they had little things like $5 gift cards, and then it was like a $100 Visa card in the middle. It was so fun.
Dang, I was half expecting you to say there was a cake inside.
Like the cakewalk. No, but this is one of those ones that, I mean, you can do, right? And it doesn't matter how old, if everybody's even just sitting around, right? That's something, and everybody like gets into it. They're like yelling.
You're like fumbling to roll the dice and stuff. Like, isn't there rules if you roll like cat eyes or something?
If you roll doubles, you have to. It has to go to the next person, and so you're trying to get it around the circle because everybody wants what's in the middle.
It's a good game to play if the power goes out.
And that could possibly happen. So, Eric, we're talking about that possibly, yes?
I've never done that. I want to, not the Saran Wrap game. I want to do that. Sounds fun. I'm all excited. Okay, well, from Saran Wrap, we make a hard turn here. If you are a crime junkie and you like to watch, there's a new series that you might want to check out here. Sylvester Stallone puts on a sharp new suit for this starring role. I have seen many a commercial for this, a trailer. It's called Tulsa King. He plays a New York good fella fresh out of prison, shocked to learn that his once powerful family has nothing left. His reality forces him to set up a new life of organized crime. Where else? Tulsa, Oklahoma. The mob drama premieres this Sunday on CBS's Paramount Plus. Manny, Frank's with us right now. So, what do you think about this, like on surface level? I guess?
Well, on surface level, the problem when you watch a lot of movies is you don't have the time to watch a lot of TV.
Oh, I see.
That's the downside. You can have one or the other. You can't have both, everybody. Sadly, the world is not enough in that regard.
But I saw the trailer and I want to see a little bit of this. I think it's interesting.
Oh no! Funnily enough, the person who is creating this is Taylor Sheridan, who did Yellowstone, and that's a big,
which I love.
Big series.
Yeah, I love
so
that.
I think honestly, if you bring his talent, he's done some films before. I can see this being a big hit if it gets to enough eyeballs on it.
Have you seen the trailer yet?
I have. It looks interesting.
Yeah.
I like a mob genre sometimes. Kind of seems like a fish out of water thing too. If you're going to take this guy and going to move him into a rural area, it's like a My Cousin Vinny situation.
Yeah. Yes. That's exactly.
not the humor. That'd be really interesting.
Well,
if you
yeah, maybe a little.
Now I want Joe Pesci to suddenly go to Tulsa now
He's
and
still
do this.
around.
He is still around. He doesn't act a lot. So.
I would love to see it. But so then that's the kind of thing with this is I can see the jokes in the trailer. It's always like he's in the small town. He doesn't get the South. You know, he's
Sure.
a mafia guy and he doesn't quite get it. But I do think of like a Yellowstone thing where the crime starts to work its way in and could get juicy.
And I was about to add too is that Sylvester Stallone, he is a very unique voice and presence. So him being in some of the South is not something you would think of in comparison to like up north. So this is gonna be really interesting in a fish out of the water / crime scenario.
Do you have a favorite mob movie?
Favorite mob movie?
Gosh, I have 100.
100?
100?
I love, well, you can't count as a movie. I love The Sopranos, but Goodfellas is one of my all-time
I mean, it has to be The
Casino.
Godfather. The Godfather.
The
Godfather Part 1 and 2. At 3, we don't talk about that one.
Yes,
but
that's exactly
but 1
right.
and 2, excellent cinema.
I'm with you. I like Goodfellas.
Yeah, me too.
And The Sopranos. I know. We gotta get you on the TV thing.
I gotta get TV.
That one you gotta.
You're on TV right now. We can watch some
I know.
TV.
I watch this TV. That's it.
All right, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna let Manny watch some TV. We'll be back.
Still watching Nicole pretty carefully. Of course, you've seen all the awful pictures and video from Florida, but we wanted to show you what's going on at our coast as well. The storm really is super far away, but they've had this onshore wind for several days. And with the full moon, higher tides, that's been causing some issues with erosion. We're looking live right now. This is Carolina Beach, North Carolina, just to the south of the Wilmington area. You can see the waves are really kind of kicked up a little bit, and this camera's at an elevation, so we're looking down here. The beach a lot smaller than it usually is, which is part of the reason because of that high surf. That's going to continue, but let's talk about here locally what we can expect from this system. Still a tropical storm. Remember, it weakened quite a bit from yesterday. Winds are at 45 miles per hour. This is not going to be nearly as windy as Ian was. It still will be windy, but not as bad. We have to watch those tropical rain bands though tomorrow. From the morning to the afternoon, we will get a couple of them. And not only will it bring heavy rain, but the problem is that when they connect with the ocean, those tropical rain bands that move in from the east, they can spin a little bit. So problems like this can develop. That's when we start to see a tornado risk. And there is at least a chance for a couple of them throughout North Carolina tomorrow, and we'll be watching it from morning to afternoon. As I mentioned, the wind gusts not as bad as Ian, but 25 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts will be common, maybe as high as 40 every now and again. Looking at that tornado risk, it'll be there tomorrow. Just make sure you have a plan in case it's issued for your area. We will clear it out for Saturday and cold by Sunday.
Right now, the perfect mimosa is trending on TikTok as people share their idea of the best champagne to orange juice ratio. The videos are catching waves as company Tropicana announced the release of its mimosa maker. It includes a 12-ounce bottle of Tropicana orange juice attached to a spray bottle. The spray bottle comes with 3 settings: whisper, spritz, and shower. I think I like that one, to satisfy every mimosa lover. So this got us thinking about the different preferences. So I asked you on my Facebook, how do you like your mimosas? I personally like mine with cranberry. David Williamson says, I like mine bottomless. Flavor takes a backseat to quantity.
Perfect.
Stacey Clater, I like mine with fresh peach juice or fresh mango juice. Yummy. And then Pepe Jones says, yes, with cranberry juice is so good. Johnny Marita, Hennessy, and OJ.
Hennessy and OJ?
Yes, I was like, that sounds kind of strong. Someone's trying to have a lit brunch.
Right.
Wow.
No plans after that one.
I do really like some places around here do it too, but a mimosa flight.
Yes.
Where you get 4 different kinds, and you can just try all of them.
I like the more, not orange juice, but like the pineapple, the mango juice, peach, grapefroit juice.
Isn't that though, isn't peach, isn't that just called a Bellini?
Yeah,
that's what I thought. One thing interesting is that, like, you know, Lowe's Foods has the beer den, and they've kind of come up with that idea. They do mimosas on certain days for while you shop for groceries at Lowe's Foods. Great. So my wife is like, I think we need a few items.
I kind of like that.
And then she calls you an hour later. She's like, can you come pick me up from the grocery store?
Or she starts buying everything in the store because you know you get the munchies after you have a couple drinks in your system. So that's probably what they're going for.
I have always said that was the most brilliant marketing campaign ever. And they have little cup holders on the shopping carts.
Oh my goodness.
At Sunday after church, you just see everybody at Lowe's.
Dangerous.
They even have the Pinehurst Harris Teeter. They have karaoke one night a week.
No.
And they have a bar inside, and they do karaoke
in the grocery store.
What?
I love that.
It's crazy.
I like that idea. Never heard of it.
All right, we're going to break. We'll see you in a bit.
Diagnosis 1212. Dusty Donaldson is a lung cancer survivor and the founder of the Dusty Joy Foundation, a nonprofit.
Hello, hi, how are you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Hey, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee.
There right now, wait until you see how powerful some of these waves are.
Sorry, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together.
Check. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Who's talking to me?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I want to share a story about something that happened while I voted the other day. I was waiting in line behind a couple people and noticed the poll workers talking with a young woman at the front of the line. The workers realized she was a first-time voter and their faces lit up. They made a little announcement to the couple other people in the precinct that this was her first time voting. Everyone immediately broke out into applause. The woman seemed surprised by this, but also happy for the acknowledgement. It was so great to see for a couple reasons. First, anytime I've gone to vote, it's a very serious moment. There isn't much talking among people, and it feels so formal. Well, this certainly broke that tension and allowed those of us in line to celebrate something at the precinct. Second, it helped remind me of the positive aspects of voting. Since the controversy over the 2020 election, there has been a lot of negativity surrounding what happens inside these precincts. It allowed a dark cloud to form over the election process and caused a deep division among a nation that's already divided on so many issues. This small moment inside my polling place on Tuesday quickly reminded me that voting is a privilege, and introducing our newest voters to it should be celebrated. I think that's something we all can agree on. That's just my 2 cents. And your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
Hurricane Nicole making landfall along the east coast of Florida.